Roughly 25 games in the year so far, the Dallas Mavericks easily are the most shocking teams in the NBA. As coming into the year, very few fans, if any, thought Dallas would be a top 3 seed this far into the season. And the fact Luka Doncic, with an average supporting cast, Kyrie being hurt, has this team in the top tier of the Western Conference is indeed remarkable. Now, with that being said, you had Kevin Garnett, former NBA superstar, give his thoughts on Luka Doncic and the top 5 players in the NBA. As when debating Paul Pierce, his co-star and former teammate, Garnett got furious at the overall notion Luka Doncic, Embiid, and even Nikola Jokic are better basketball players than LeBron James. Now look, I'm not going to go too far down this rabbit hole, but when it comes to Jokic versus LeBron James, I think that debate is completely non-existent. As last year in the playoffs, Jokic not only beat LeBron's team, but outplayed him and swept him. Now, tossing that point to the side, what I really want to focus in on is Luka Doncic being better than LeBron James and be a top 5 player. As if you ask Kevin Garnett, putting Luka in the same breath as LeBron James is blasphemy. And I hate to say it, but KG's overall argument is 100% emotion-based and not grounded in reality or cold hard facts. As if you look at Luka this year, when it comes to the top tier talents, easily he's been top 5 and better than LeBron James. As so far, he's averaging 32.7 points, that is second in the NBA, 9.1 assists, that is 4th, 8.3 boards on 49-38, and 80 splits. When it comes to 3-point shooting and free throw shooting, Luka at this point has career highs in both those categories. And for the NBA at large, in total points scored, Luka ranks first, and in made threes ranks second, only behind Steph Curry, the greatest shooter in NBA history. And speaking of history, if Luka has the same pace the entire year, he'll join Michael Jordan and himself for the second time as the only players ever to average 32, 8, and 8 in a single season. Simply put, Luka so far has had an historic season and an historic start for the Dallas Mavericks. And if you look at his last 10 games, he's gotten even better. And in 10 straight matchups, has scored 30 plus points every single time, averaging nearly 36 points, 11 dives, 9 boards on 48% shooting. In those 10 games, Luka has 3 triple-doubles and 6 games of 30 points and 10 assists. And most importantly, Dallas in those games is 7-3. And again, going back to Luka's teammates, with Kyrie being hurt, primarily he's doing this with role players and average NBA talent, from Tim Hardaway and Derek Lively to Grant Williams and Dante Exum. And if you want to talk winning MVP, based off individual stats, teammate help, overall record, Luka at this point has one of the best cases to win the award. As looking at other NBA superstars, their teammate help compared to Luka is vastly superior. As Joel Embiid has Maxey and Harris, Giannis has Dame, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, even SGA has Chet, a possible All-Star, and J-Dub. The only MVP player whose teammate help is comparable to Luka is indeed Nikola Jokic, and just like Luka, his All-Star teammate has been hurt for nearly half the season. And look, once again Dallas, being the 11th seed last year missing the playoffs, missing the play-in tournament, to now being the 3rd seed is one of, if not the biggest turnarounds in the NBA. And quite frankly, I think Luka Doncic deserves a ton of credit for that turnaround and the team bouncing back strong. And looking back at Kevin Garnett, whose comments once again were totally irrational off base, when he was debating Paul Pierce, KG with a straight face LeBron James is the best player in the world. Ahead of Luka, Jokic, Giannis, any player you want to think of. For once in Paul Pierce's life, he wasn't the guy in the room with the worst NBA take. As if you look at Luka's overall offensive impact on his teammates, the offense, again, it is next level. And compared to LeBron's Lakers, the engine Luka Doncic is in Dallas is much more impressive than LeBron James at this point in his career, as Dallas ranks 5th in offensive rating, 6th in points per game, 12th in 3 percentage, and 7th in true shooting percentage. Looking at the LeBron-led Lakers offense, their overall numbers across the board aren't even comparable to Dallas with Luka Doncic, and in virtually all categories are in the bottom 50% of NBA squads. And look, comparing Luka versus LeBron James prime for prime, LeBron clears Luka every day of the week. But comparing LeBron James age 39 to Luka at 24, I'm sorry to say it, but Luka is the better overall player at this point in their careers. And Luka, much like LeBron James on offense, is almost robot-like. Not in movement, but in day-to-day output. As looking at Luka, only twice this year in 25 games, he scored under 20 points. And 5 times has cracked 40 plus. And again, most importantly, Dallas in those 5 games is 5-0. And when it comes to passing and playmaking, when Luka has 10 or more dimes, Dallas in those matchups is 8-2. Simply put, if Luka shows up, the Mavericks have a chance to win and compete with the best teams in the entire NBA. And again, looking at that consistent nature, Luka since 2020, at the bare minimum, has been 27, 8, and 8 every single year, being top 6 in scoring and assists. A player putting up those type numbers day in, day out, year in, year out, at minimum, makes him a top 5 NBA player. As in comparison to someone like Tatum, who is kind of erratic, inconsistent, that is one of the main traits that separates a player from being top 5 versus being top 10. And if you want to talk best point guard in the NBA, Luka being classified as a point guard. This year to this point, he's been better than Steph Curry, better than Halliburton, better than SGA, and any other point guard in the association. And compared to those players, Luka's overall scoring ability combined with passing ability, in my view, makes him the best point guard in the NBA at this very moment. And to compare him to someone like Steph Curry, when Steph's teammates are hurt, injured, not playing well, Golden State in those games has zero chance. But Luka Doncic, the offensive load he can carry at this point is much larger than Steph Curry. As if Hardaway's off shooting, Grant Williams is off shooting, Dallas still with Luka Doncic had a chance to win that game and compete at the highest level. I'm not saying Steph Curry at his peak isn't better than Luka. What I'm saying is age 35 Steph Curry isn't better than age 24 Luka. Shouldn't be a hot take, but for some fans, it is. And to go full circle in this video, looking back at Kevin Garnett, his overall debate with Paul Pierce was an awful debate, and take from KG was completely ludicrous. But I think fans on Twitter, social media, they're almost pre-programmed to see Paul Pierce disagree with him and then clown him for his take. But in this instance, Paul Pierce actually had the better take in comparison to Kevin Garnett. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.